Namaskar. Today I wanted to share with you the story of how the city of Srinagar was founded. This is based on the tales of Raj Tarangini. Let's start. Srinagar shares with very few cities the distinction of being one of the oldest capitals. It was originally founded by Ashoka more than 2000 years ago. The site of Ashoka's city was on the outskirts of the present city, about 1 mile to the south of the hill of Shankaracharya. The present city was founded by Pravarasena II around the hill of Sharika, which is commonly called as Hariparbat. How this all happened is the story that we are going to talk about. Pravarasena ascended the throne after the abdication of Matragupta, who was the protege of Vikramaditya. Now, it is very important to mention that Vikramaditya was the king of Ujjain and he had sent his protege, who is Matragupta, to rule Kashmir because the king before Matragupta had died without an issue and his twin brother had been exiled, therefore he was not able to take over. Anyways, this story is not important for today, we will talk about it later. Let's focus on the creation of Srinagar. After Pravarsena attended to the affairs of the state for about 10 years, he felt that he could now consider to give material shape to his ambition of creating something grandeur. As is known, the kings of that time would always leave a grand monument or something constructed for ages to come. In this case, Pravarsena had thought of creating a city that could withstand the pangs of time and would remain there forever. Or so he thought about it. Now, in order to find the right place to build a city, he asked the men from his court to go out and check for the appropriate location where this city could be centered in. These people did their best. They went left, right, and center. They could not find anything. Nevertheless, Pravarsena took upon himself to find this place. Lot of time passed, and the anxiety to find the right spot and to lay the foundation of a city at an auspicious moment did not let him rest. He was so anxious that he could not even sleep. So one day, while he was asleep, he was disturbed by dreams about the city he had set himself upon to build. In one of these dreams, he got a clue that the city he was looking for was to the north and that he could learn about it only during the night. So one dark night, he left his palace and strolled further down along the bank of River Jhelum. While strolling along the bank of River Jhelum, he reached a place which was a crematorium, and the king Pravarsena saw the area lit up with funeral fires, or so he thought. The place was probably the island of Maisuma, and the flames from the pyres near the present Kavij Mohla projected the shadows of trees in different directions. The king's attention was drawn to a mighty form across the river. Now, this form was completely different from the flames that were lighting up the sky. So it would have been very frightening sight where the sky was looking orange, and then all of a sudden you see something like a jinn in the sky. The jinn tried to scare King Pravarsena significantly. However, Pravarsena was of very strong steel and he was not deterred by anything that this jinn did. So eventually, the jinn gave up and he came into his real form and informed Pravarsena that he was the Bhairava with the name Vetal. The Bhairava also told the king that he had been pleased to see a man who was so valiant as Pravarsena. Eventually, the king Pravarsena told the Bhairava that it was his ambition to found a city that would exist as long as the mountains. And then, listening to this, Bhairava said, if you go in the direction of north the next morning, you will reach a spot spread over with reddish clay. And this is the spot where you should build your city, and this should be the center of the city. Bhairava also gave him an auspicious moment, which is called as Saath in Kashmiri, to start the construction of the city. The next day, the king surveyed the land to the north as advised by Bhairava and came to the hill of Hariparbat, few miles from his place. Here he observed all the indications mentioned by Bhairava, including the color of the clay. He also drove away a mighty demon who haunted this place. Eventually, he laid the foundation of his city at the most appropriate hour given by the Bhairava. He named this city the city of Pravarpura. So this is very important moment because not many people know that Srinagar was in its original form called as Pravarpura. The king also made arrangements for building the new capital in the best possible way, and he entrusted the task to Jaya, who at that time was most well-known architects of the time. At the center of the town, he built a temple dedicated to Shiva. It is said that Dal Lake did not even exist then, and instead a meadow called the Betalini Marg stood where placid waters stretch today. And it was only later that a mighty earthquake filled the meadows with water and converted into the lake. So, this was the story for today. In the next episode, we will talk about other important events that happened after Pravarsena laid the foundation of Srinagar, earlier called as Pravarpura, and we will also talk about the four important temples that he built